joined in progress. Joined mid-battle. It's today's news of Warcraft, and man, there's a lot around that. Seamlessly blending the general amenities of World of Warcraft Classic played on a controller with the horrors of today's news. And we got some today, this is another one of those, literally, it's just breaking stories, as the Assad regime in Syria has fallen. We knew this was kind of coming yesterday because the rebel forces, they were closing in, and Assad has apparently fled the country, and is hoping for a, quote, peaceful transfer of power. His words. So, here we are. Here we are, everybody. Oh, I only have 11 of those left. I never remember to hit that. Welcome the new regime. It was the rebel forces that were backed by U.S. and NATO. And of course, because the U.S. and NATO were backing one side, Russia decided to back the other side. This is actually old Cold War strategies here, where the U.S. supported one and Russia supported the other. But this one actually was 13 years. It was a 13-year civil war. It began in 2011, around March. It was a part of the Arab Spring, and that spring basically never ended. It went back and forth for a long time, and I don't know what sparked this final push. I do know that it seemed like the rebels were at a point where they were just going to lose at some point, and then something happened or some intervention happened, and they lived to go another day, and now the last month and into now, we have this, and the final push happened. They captured, when I went to bed last night, they captured Aleppo, Hama, and Homs, and they closed in. They got into Damascus, and the Assad regime has left. Or Assad has. I don't know about the regime itself. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. Do I have, like, regular food? Oh, yeah, I do. Thank goodness. I need to get over to them Kodos, but I gotta get through that. I gotta get around this because I don't want to, don't want to die. So yeah, this is our top news story of the day. It says, this was fairly breaking. Assad regime falls is now the headline at CNN. It is done. The Syrian rebels declare Damascus free, claim Assad has fled the capital. So, meet the new boss. Don't know if they're going to be like the old boss or not. I'm hoping not. I'm hoping not, because I want to know what that is. What are you? Oh, 10. No. And yes, we're going on our way to get these programs. Russia, one of Assad's main allies, says he has left Syria and gave instructions to transfer power peacefully. Assad's exact whereabouts are unknown. Just to let you know, Assad's current didn't mean to do that. Assad's current whereabouts are unknown. And again, this was a proxy war between the U.S. and Russia, what it wound up being, because the U.S. and NATO did one side, and of course Russia did the other side, because heaven forbid should the U.S. back one side and Russia not back up the other. It was basically an old Cold War proxy war, and it looks like the rebels that were backed by the U.S. and NATO won. But this was it's a 13-year-long civil war. The finality, basically, of the Arab Spring. Excuse me, I haven't even been awake very long, and I'm just waking up to the Assad regime fails. And hang on a minute, baby. Oh, wait, is it an undead? Wait, it's an apparition. That's a ghost. That's an undead. That's not fair. Oh, I can remove that white point. Let's just do that. Yeah. See, it's an apparition. It should be treated as an undead. I should be able to use exorcism. Bong. Bong. Super Ultra Mega Lizard might be coming. I don't know. No, Super Ultra Mega Lizard is alive. No. Oh, there's a new update here at CNN. There's a new one here. Muted reaction in Russia over the toppling of a key Middle Eastern ally. As we all know, Syria was an ally of Russia, which is why the collapse is a bit harsh for them, because it means they've lost in that proxy war. It was basically Russia backed Syria, and the U.S. and NATO backed the rebel forces that have now won and have now toppled the Assad regime. So what you're watching is the easiest parallel from history, but I hope nobody gets beheaded, is the French Revolution. We hope nobody gets beheaded out of this, because good heavens. But that's the closest parallel that I can readily think of that everybody will instantly recognize is the French Revolution, okay? Without beheading, again. But that's what you're watching in real time right now. You're watching what happens after a violent overthrow of a government, of a corrupt government. I'm not sure how corrupt this one was. It was part of the Arab Spring protest, so you can kind of imagine what it was about. You can kind of imagine here, right? Because to refresh our memories, the Arab Spring was, or the first Arab Spring, because it was the second one, there were anti-government protests, uprisings, and armed rebellions. It spread like wildfire. A major slogan of the demonstrators back then was, "The people want to bring down the regime." Is caused by a whole lot of things, including authoritarianism, absolute monarchies, human rights violations. So, yeah, these were pretty corrupt regimes. So, yeah, we're dealing with corruption. And the self-immolation of Mohammed Bouazizi. I hope I got Mohammed's name right. If not, my apologies. I'm reading that one right off the cuffs here. The goals were democracy, economic freedom, employment, free elections, human rights, reforms, regime change. So it seems like this one was an overthrow for the betters, just like with the French Revolution. All right. Which still does not make sense, because it should be an undead. It's not fair. That's not fair. It's an apparition. It should be an undead. No, but they say it's a beast. No, it's undead. Apparitions are by default undead. And I mean, this is such a big deal that even MSNBC is covering it right now. Syrian president flees country after rebels take capital, Russia says. That's the big story right now on MSNBC. So, breaking: Russia confirms that President Assad has fled. Up to 3. Here. Because I might as well get that through. Yeah, so, it's a big deal when MSNBC retreats from covering 24/7 We Hate Donald Trump and actually does news. But yeah, the big story of the day is the Assad regime has fallen to pro-democracy forces. The 13-year civil war has ended in Syria. And it ended with the rebels winning. It was 13 years. It's like the final end, the finality of the first Arab Spring has happened, because this was rooted in the Arab Spring. So, with our big story out of the way, if any other things, I'm going to keep refreshing here just to see if anything does change, okay? From time to time, I will refresh just to see if things will change. CNN is still Assad regime falls. Oh, I got 2. Sorry about that. I didn't know I brought a second one. Sorry. There we go. So when you're multi-mobbing 2 at level, again, your doinks keep going, which right now is consecration. Your other doink becomes, oh, shoot. Well, you can't flee now. Dang it. What I meant to do was that. I had my trigger down. Silly me. You keep your doinks going. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. And after that, it's just elementary. You just keep yourself alive. If you have to choose between keeping consecration up and staying alive, you choose staying alive. You use that up. You use that to keep yourself healed up. So again, from time to time, I will be refreshing. The Assad regime has fallen. In Syria, it is absolute breaking news as we speak. Still, Assad regime falls, and the underneath where there's the picture there, and then there's an underneath that says underneath live updates. Stunning rebel advance ends brutal rule, but plunges Syria into uncertainty again. The closest historical parallel without the beheadings is the French Revolution. Okay, so realize what you're watching, because you're watching the French Revolution in real time. Only without beheadings. We hope without beheadings. Please don't behead people over there. Please, 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 please. We can do better than that. And again, you know that it's big news because MSNBC has stopped their 24/7 We Hate Donald Trump-a-thon. We'll just go ahead and do them both. Birds. MSNBC has stopped their We Hate Donald Trump coverage and has instead covered the fall of the Syrian regime. This is the Assad regime. The 13-year civil war in Syria has ended. I'm going to go ahead and just hit him that way. Come on, you silly thing. Because it was close enough. See, like right now, I'm just going to go ahead, quick heal. And until you get the right talents later on, it's holy light. That's going to switch around with Flash real soon, okay? And now Lazy Paladin and get some mana back. Oh yeah, I can. There we go. Now, so we're monitoring a situation in Syria. The Assad regime has fallen. That we are in there underneath. Rebels and civilians ransack Assad's residence in Damascus. This is typical. I mean, this is actually typical in history. When a regime falls, one of the first things that happens is their home gets looted. El Presidente's home gets looted, or the king's residence gets looted. Okay, it's quite common. But what could have also botched this whole war into the rebels' favor. This is something here. 2 wars changed Syria's fortune. Well, we know what the first one was. Oh, remember that. It's technically a beast. And what was the second one? Oh, the Hezbollah war. They're talking about the Hezbollah war as the second one. Again, if you just tuned in, the Assad regime in Syria, I timed that wrong. The Assad regime in Syria has fallen. The rebel forces have taken Damascus. Assad's residence has been looted, according to CNN reporting. No, but right now we are witnessing a revolution in real time. Always remember that. It's very uncertain. It's not, they came in and democracy goes and we all say magic and everybody's okay. This is the point this is a point in history that you should watch. You should keep an eye on Syria. You should be keeping an eye on what's going on there, because this is what happens immediately afterward. There's going to be a period of pure bad kind of anarchy. Okay, not the cooperative anarchy that eventually develops, but this initial stage where the bad things tend to really happen. We're at that stage. We're not at cooperative anarchy yet in Syria. Okay, we're at the violent, brutal stage of anarchy. You know, I forgot to put up my link. Well, I can lazy paladin this and do the link, right? Copy link. And paste that in. Here we go. So for those tuning in, if you just happen to, I don't know, you know, you just never know if somebody is tuning in or not, because I don't monitor it. You know, I don't monitor things on the channel when it happens. Oh, I got my 10. I can turn them in. Just run under here and hope we don't get arrowed to death. Okay, I hit the map button. Come on, man. You silly buttons. Yes, for those just tuning in, the Syrian Civil War has ended. The Assad regime has fallen. Absolutely fallen. We have entered into the period of looting and pillaging anarchy. We are likely, they're going to need help. This is all. That's all there is to it. They're going to need help because that's where we are right now. That we are at looting and pillaging anarchy stage. This was a 13-year civil war that just literally ended as the rebel forces went into Damascus. Actually, just a little bit ago. This is breaking as we all speak right now, breaking as I am playing around in Desolus. I never summoned my cat. I have all sorts of little cat tributes. And believe it or not, this one is one of them, the Siamese cat. I try to outfit all my characters with it. I used to have a snowshoe Siamese. And oh, he was so pretty. He was the clumsiest little cat. If you made like a Great Dane of cats, that would be my snowshoe, okay? That would be my little snowshoe. And he passed away. He passed away of old age, and I make sure to outfit my cats. Outfit my alts with cats. Outfit my cats with alts. Yes. I make sure to outfit all my cats with alts because oh, it's a little tribute to you. That's all it is. Again, I'm monitoring some news sites here. We're still at Assad regime falls. Let's go over to BBC while we're here because I've got seconds in between. The future is ours. That's an exact quote. Says Syrian rebel leader after Assad flees Damascus. BBC is reporting from inside. They have a video of the presidential palace being stormed. So go to BBC News and see that video. You can watch. Like I said, this is unfolding in real time. So be interested in this, people, because this happens. I mean, this is I mean, this is a moment in history to watch and understand, because we have an advantage over everybody that's been in the past, okay? Because we have so many ways to do this now. We would never have seen the footage of, say, a presidential palace getting raided, which I know this isn't going to do much, but, I just need to get stuff out. And there we go. Actually, it did more than I thought. But you don't normally see this stuff. You don't normally see it happen in real time with 24-hour news cycles. Okay, and it's something, and it's something to watch. It's something to really understand and to really figure out, because as we all know, history might not repeat itself, but it quite often rhymes. You're watching the French Revolution, basically. It's a rhymer because nobody's been beheaded. But it was a corrupt regime, a rebellion happened, and the rebel forces won, the people against the current government won, okay? And there you go. I got a necklace. Where'd it go? Oh, where'd that thing? See what I mean? Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Oh, thank goodness I did that one. All right. So, like I said, the big news of the day, the Assad regime has fallen. I'm going to do one final refresh here before just going off on my own and calling it a day with you all, okay? The Assad regime falls, plunging at Syria into uncertainty, okay? BBC, the future is ours. Okay, just for giggles, we're going to go to MSNBC. Assad regime ends in Syria as rebels seize capital city. They used the wrong capital. It's Capital, not OL. The capital, like that, with an OL, refers to a building, not exactly the city. It's actually common. I've actually done it before. So, it's just funny that a mistake I made has been made by somebody else. So I was like, ooh, I made the same mistake. Here's what it is. So, breaking: Russia confirms that President Assad has fled. All right, so we'll get rid of this basilisk. I'm just going to go down there and grind a little while and see what I can come up with. So if you see me down in Desolus, give me a wave. Or if you see any of my other alts that you know of, give me a wave. I may or may not be filming at the time, but it's good to know I see people. So for today's news in Warcraft, this is Turkeytentia, wishing you a great day and great gaming. And if you're in Syria,